20.
Mr. Donaldson, I was going to speak to the below 40. That's all we've heard on the, I'm all for reforestation. I'm all for erosion protection. I'm all for, stormwater maintenance. And Chris Grange sat here last year when we were discussing failures in our stormwater and said we had the strictest regulations that he knew of, and TDEC is the regulatory theory over that. We just don't have enough enforcement. And I think that's part of our problem. I think that's part of what this is coming to. But one of the things that, everything that's been said tonight for the people that are for the plan has been said there's misinformation, lies being told, because misinformation is just a clean word for a lie. And so, all I've been told from the people that are for the plan is that nothing changes below 25 and 30 and 40. And then tonight again it came up, nothing changes. But then we come to find out there's severe changes below 40 with reforestation plans and other things. So to say that the density doesn't change, but the amount that can be graded changes, it changes the whole plan, my whole view of the plan, to the point where you had to put 15% in there, 15 degrees, 15%. You had to put it in there, but we've been hearing nothing changes, but it does change. So what's the truth about the matter?
The plan makes recommendations regarding development regulations. It does not create regulations. But when we work in the realm of zoning, the plan provides guidance on the recommendations that planning staff makes to the Planning Commission and that Planning Commission makes to the legislative bodies. So there are recommendations in the plan to develop in the future regulations that would limit clearing and grading depending on slope. But they are not regulatory as a result of adopting the plan.
Yet. And you brought up the technology corridor, which lies in my district, and one of the arguments of this plan is exactly what some of the things that went on in the technology corridor there at Pellissippi and Hardin Valley. We've got an exposed hillside, but you said it was heavily regulated, but it's not enforced. And so, it's a matter of enforcing the laws on the books. And when we get on to talking about the ridge tops, I'm all for protecting the ridge tops. I think they're beautiful. But not at the expense of taking somebody's ability to do what they, within the guidelines of, and what I can't figure out, we got this 2033 plan that sets guidelines for 15%, but now we want to change it, but in the new plan, nothing below 40. And so there's so much out there. We've got so many plans, and the regulations are so vast, I don't think people understand. I think we need to have good regulations, but I think we've got a plan for everything, and I don't think people understand that the residents don't understand all the plans versus regulations versus zone. It's too confusing, and we've made it that way, I believe, intentionally. And so and it's been said previously that there's, we either have to vote this up or down, whether it be tonight or later. And so I know a lot of people's worked very hard on it, but I can't support the plan as it is. And if there's no room for compromise, well, we can't compromise on it tonight. Tonight, nor 60 days from now, we can't compromise on it. We've either got to vote it up or vote it down.
But once you have dealt with the plan as adopted by the Planning Commission, you may initiate your own plan amendment.
So we have to get any compromise, we need to vote this down and then initiate our own plan.
Correct.
Thank you.
Commissioner Norman asked, do you still want to be last, Commissioner Norman? So I'm going to recognize Commissioner Boyles, and I'm going to recognize Commissioner Norman, then I'd like to make a statement, and then we're going to vote. So
this is just very quick. I just would like to comment back to Brad that misinformation doesn't necessarily mean liar. You can give misinformation because you don't understand something or because you're not knowledgeable about it, not because you're lying. And I'm taking an exception to that. I also feel that I know some people are really anxious to have this over and done with, but I respect the 3 years that our colleagues and volunteers and staff have put into this. And if Tony would like a 60-day extension, or Joe Holquist would like a 60-day extension, then that's what I intend to try to give them out of respect for the work that they've done.
Commissioner Norman.
Am I last?
You're last.
Okay. If this doesn't come to a vote, I do have a tearjerker story that I'll save for the vote, but I'm not going to use it right now. So I think we're going to be able to get this to a workshop. There's 100 things that I've noted tonight in terms of this discussion. I'm not going to talk but about a couple of them. And I guess the most poignant thing of all of them to me tonight was the fellow from Raccoon Valley who came and said, I just found out about this, and I'm a landowner, and I've got steep slopes, and so this article or this ad that was put out in the paper did work to notify, and that notification may be a good thing. And I think that if we use it and we allow a couple of months here to pass as we let this, the emotional stuff settle down, we're going to have a read a little bit on the effect of that notice. And I think I'm certainly not afraid of that notice at all. I'm not afraid of that ad. I think that ad is going to get people activated that may not be. And the more they know about the plan and the more they know about the process, the better off we are. It's not a perfect plan and it's not a perfect process, but I welcome people to come and be involved in the next couple of months with us and see where we've been and where we're going, what our intentions are. A couple other things that came up. One, Dr. Briggs mentioned some things that because the Chamber is so involved in this and has, invested in it and come out fairly strongly with all this, money for the ad and so on. I mean, there is definitely a connection between Midway Road, the Hillside Plan, and the Chamber. Now, I think that the time period between now and when we do the workshop, we're going to investigate that, and that's an interesting topic, and that will be one that may be productive in helping people make a decision. There was a couple of other comments that we could get into. I like to say that this is a development plan. It's how we're going to develop hillsides. It's not a preservationist effort. It is best management practice about hillsides. It doesn't take away property rights. It's reasonable use of the land, all those things. And we're going to keep saying them. We're going to keep saying them, and we're going to keep demonstrating how they are and how they are going to allow us for a better community. They may not be beneficial individually to certain individuals in this room, to certain developers in this room. They may not be, and I think that's a large reason why they're so actively opposed to it. But it is going to be for the common good of our community. And I'll save my tearjerker story for later, and I would like to call for the question as to the substitute motion.
May I make a statement before we vote on the call? There's no lights on. I think everybody's ready to vote, so I don't need to. I just want to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your comments. Thank you for the civil discussion. I think that we've had a civil discussion. I think we've disagreed, but we haven't been disagreeable. And I just want to thank you for helping us make this a very productive session. And again, thanks for battling the elements to be here this evening. I do have a quick question before we vote, for my own sake, if I might do that, and that's Mr. Donaldson. You said that